Hello and welcome to the I've Seen Everything Reaction Wrap-Up. My name's Andrew and I'm glad to have you here with me. This is where I share my thoughts, rating, and review following my most recent reaction or watch-along video. To find these reaction and watch-along videos, please visit @SeenEverything over on YouTube. Please be sure to click the follow button here on the podcast, and for those listening on Apple Podcasts, a rating and review would be greatly appreciated. And now, on to this episode's wrap-up for Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Well, what can you say about a classic movie such as Raiders of the Lost Ark or Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark? There's just so many iconic moments in this movie, so many things that have been replayed in montages of classic movies, of incredibly memorable movie moments, so many things that have tried to be recreated, just even on this page here. I mean, I own the Indiana Jones movies elsewhere, but I watched this one on Disney+. I'm seeing, in addition to the Indiana Jones movies, Jungle Cruise, Pirates of the Caribbean, National Treasure, all of these things that aim to have an Indiana Jones feel. Uncharted from Sony. It's not to say these kind of things didn't exist before Indiana Jones. They obviously did. Indiana Jones is born out of them. If you watch the behind the scenes of this movie, and I invite you to do so, you do get to hear from George Lucas and Steven Spielberg their theory in making this, what they modeled it after. I mentioned some of it. They had 2 or 3 different specific film references. The only specific one I remember is Humphrey Bogart in The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, in which he's wearing a very similar kind of hat and very similar outfit to, I don't think he's an archaeology professor. I've only seen that movie once. I don't remember exactly the story of it that well. But it was that, but also the adventure serials of the 30s. For those who don't know, adventure serials, or cliffhangers as they often became known, were kind of like kids' adventure TV shows and things like that before there was television, or at least before television was widely available. It's not very often that you get to see the beginning of something like this, the beginning of at least a new era of a genre. This is the beginning of a new era of adventure films that would be, again, tried to be duplicated and emulated, and just everybody try to have their own version of it to whatever ability they were able. And some people did a pretty good job. There's other franchises out there that kind of exist in this realm that are entertaining, and there's a lot that really missed the mark. What can you say about Raiders of the Lost Ark? For so many of us, some of our absolute favorite movies, television shows, media in general, including this franchise, would not exist without this movie, and without it doing well, and them wanting to make more, and all the rest of it. Similar, again, going back to Star Wars. Sci-fi existed before Star Wars. Adventure movies existed before this. But something changed with Star Wars. This particular type of sci-fi didn't exist. The way they told it, this epic nature of telling the story, didn't exist that way. And even that, people have tried to emulate it and create their own version of it and get a little piece of it somehow, ever since it was created. You don't get to witness things like that very often. And watching this movie, you get to witness that. I don't know anybody who doesn't like Raiders of the Lost Ark, who likes those type of movies. It's all about perspective. You know, the things we tend to latch on to the most are the things that we grow up with, the things that really capture our imagination. It's not to say we can't have that later in life. I think it's a lot easier when we're kids. Things are more easily very exciting. We're very impressionable. And things like this leave a lot more of an impact when you're a kid. There is something about the things that are kind of your reference points for a specific type of thing, a specific genre. When you think of that genre, you think of that thing. And the nostalgia that will always be there for it. I will always have nostalgia for Indiana Jones. As I said, I didn't grow up watching this one, but I love everything with Indiana Jones. I did say during this, and I hadn't really thought of this before, the whole idea of going into temples and kind of sacred places, tribal places and stuff, and taking relics to be put in museums, does have a different feel to it now. When you talk about the problematic nature of things being kept in museums that probably should be returned to the countries and the people that they belong to. But let's not dig too deep into that when we're just trying to enjoy these movies, even though that is a very valid point. I very much enjoyed watching this with you this evening. Thank you for being here and watching it with me. I'm very glad that we have started down the road of this franchise. I am very much looking forward to getting to the next installments, especially the next 2 installments, which I am obviously even more familiar with, Temple of Doom and Last Crusade. Temple of Doom is one of the two movies that is the reason the PG-13 rating exists in the United States, because it was too dark. It was rated PG, even with all the stuff that happened in that movie. And then later they figured out this movie's too dark for a PG rating, but it's not quite dark enough for an R. Temple of Doom and Gremlins, PG-13 rating. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm tired. I'm going to go get some rest. I just want to remind everybody, go have a look over at the Patreon. Everything as of the recording of this video is still free. The full-length reaction to this movie will be over there. Other full-length reactions are over there, including exclusive full-length reactions. I really hope you'll go over there and have a look. If you'd be so kind, please go ahead and rate, comment, and share this episode of the podcast. Really helps me out here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this with me. I hope this was entertaining, and I will see you on the next video. Take care of yourself. Thank you for listening to the I've Seen Everything Reaction Wrap-Up. Again, to find these reaction and watch-along videos, please visit @SeenEverything over on YouTube. Please consider following the podcast, and for those on Apple Podcasts, a rating and review are always appreciated. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll meet you here on the next episode.